I am so excited to be here with you today because we are talking about how to stop feeling fat. And if you are tuning in today, then I am assuming that you know exactly what I am talking about. That feeling of just feeling so gross in your body, wanting to jump out of your own skin, feeling disgusting, looking at other people, just feeling like you're just too much or you're just not enough of the right things, feeling gross. If you know what I am talking about, then stick around because this video is for you. And what we're going to be talking about today are 3 tools that I invite you to do right away that can help you shift out of that constant feeling fat. And I'm also going to share with you a bonus tip, so definitely stick around to the very end. So this topic is so near and dear to me because I spent most of my life feeling fat, feeling gross. And here's the thing, and I'm sure you can agree with me, fat is not really a feeling, right? Fat's not really a feeling. But what I find is that what fat does, feeling fat does, is it helps to distract us from whatever deeper feeling is actually going on. And I want to talk about this for a moment because when I started to really understand that more and more, I really got to see that underneath that feeling of being fat was usually some feeling of inadequacy, some feeling of being too much, too needy, too high maintenance, too serious, too complicated, too big, too awkward, or not being enough, not being thin enough, not being pretty enough, not being good enough, not being smart enough. All of these things had me feeling less than or like just wrong. It had me just feeling wrong. And when I felt that way, I would immediately default into feeling fat. Something about me is wrong. I feel fat. If I'm thinner, then everything would be right about me. So notice if you recognize yourself or your own internal dialogue in any of that. And what I want to get into right now are 3 things that you can start doing right away. Because here's the thing, is that even though feeling fat, the default pattern is if I could just lose the weight, if I could just get skinnier, then I wouldn't feel fat. But that is actually not where the solution lies. I don't know about you, but I have definitely been up on the scale, down on the scale, and it didn't really matter what I weighed. The feeling of being fat could still pop up no matter what the number on the scale looked like. And so let's talk about what it really does take. The first tip I want to share with you is getting real with what you feel. So we already spoke about this for a moment, but when we're feeling fat, it's usually a distraction for something deeper that's actually going on. So I invite you, when you're in those moments, and maybe you're in one of those moments right now, to just take a breath and just feel in your heart and just notice what's there for you. Notice if you're feeling sad. Notice if you're feeling inadequate, or if you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling grief. Just notice what is there for you. This is so, so big, and I know that it's not easy. In fact, I support women through just this piece right here because feeling is actually a really, really big deal. And most of us have spent most of our lives getting really, really good at not feeling or covering up our emotions or numbing them out. And so this is great, big, huge if you can actually just start to get real with what you feel and then to not overly identify with it or make meaning from it or analyze it, but to actually just let the emotion be there and let it move through you without assigning any meaning or anything from it. Stop analyzing. Just be with the feeling. Let the tears come, or even if there's no tears, don't judge yourself for it. Just let whatever is there want to come up. It will soon leave if you just honor the feeling. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is to get out of your head and get into your body. Here's the thing, is that when we are feeling fat, that is not a feeling. That is actually a thought. It is a thought that's going on in our heads. And even though we're judging the crap out of our bodies, we are actually not in our bodies. We're up in our head analyzing our bodies. So one of the ways that you can actually shift out of that feeling fat cycle is to actually bring your awareness down into your body. So I'm going to give you a couple of tools right now that will allow you to get into your body. And if you want to dive deeper in this, I will also just give you a URL. You can download a free instant embodiment reset guide that I have that actually goes into some more detail of 5 instant practices to really get out of your head and just feel comfortable in your own skin. So I'll share that in just a moment. But what you can do is you can just start to focus on your breath. You can just take the next 10 breaths and just focus on how the breath is moving into your body and out of your body. You can also place your hands on your heart and see if you can feel your own heartbeat. You can bring your awareness down to your feet and feel your feet on the ground. So these are just some simple ways to start to bring your awareness down into your body. And again, if you want that instant embodiment reset guide, you can just go to embodimentreset.com. I'll leave that link in the comments below, embodimentreset.com. And you can download 5 instant practices to really get out of your head and get deeper into your body so that you can feel comfortable in your own skin. So another great way to get out of your head and get into your body is to go for a walk, get moving. You know, that feeling of being fat, I'm not talking about going into like over exercising and, just like running your body into the ground. I'm talking about just getting into movement, because when you get into movement and you start combining your breath with your body and your movement, it actually can calm your mind and get you out of all of that obsessive thinking. So moving your body is so, so important. And that's all a part of getting out of your head and getting into your body. So there we have, we've got get real with what you feel, get out of your head and into your body. And the next one that we have here is to get into aligned action. What do I mean by that? So getting into aligned action. So when we are feeling fat, typically we're in judgment, we're in comparison, we are feeling competitive, we're comparing where we should be to where we think we are, we're looking at other people, we're feeling like we're not enough or we're too much of the wrong things. And so one of the ways to be able to mitigate all of that is to tap into your authentic self, your authentic desires, your authentic passions, what inspires you, what moves you. When you take aligned, congruent action, that could be getting creative, or that could be listening to some music that you like. It could be something really simple, but when you do something that brings you back into a deeper place of joy and authenticity, it's incredible how you can shift out of the thinking of all of that feeling fat, feeling gross, feeling too much, feeling not enough, all of that stuff. It's absolutely incredible. So think about what moves you, what inspires you, what even scares you. Because all those things, when I start speaking with women, I was just talking to a client the other day, and she just started a new business that is completely around her passions and her interests, and she loves it so much, and she has lit up inside. And instead of feeling fat and gross and like she isn't enough or like she's too much, she's actually completely lit up and inspired. Things feel totally different. She's feeling different about herself. And so that is such a big, big tool. It's something that I love to support my one-on-one clients with. So definitely make sure that you are taking aligned, congruent action, that you're listening to your gut instinct about what you should be doing, that you're listening to your heart's desire, and that you're giving yourself the opportunity to follow through with those passions and interests. Okay, so that is number 3, but I did promise you that we would have a bonus tip here, and this is worth the price of admission. This is worth everything right here. This is an absolute game changer. And that is to get outside of yourself. So I know it sounds kind of funny because tip number 3 was like, get into yourself, get into your authentic self and get all yummy and juicy and inspired and doing what you like to do. But number 4, this bonus tip, is get outside of you. Here's the thing, is that when you're feeling fat, when you're feeling gross, when you're feeling like you're too much or you're not enough or you're not the right kind or whatever it is, you might not be thinking very highly of yourself, but you can't stop thinking about yourself. You're all you think of. It's very, very self-centered and self-absorbed. So one of the ways to shift out of all of that is to get into service, is to start tapping into how can I help this person in front of me? How can I be of maximum service in the world? I remember this was probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I was meeting somebody at a coffee shop, and we were, I was going to be doing some service work with them. And I remember using, the potty before we went into our meeting together. And I remember catching a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I just felt fat. I felt gross. I remember I was wearing these black yoga pants and this black tank top, and everything just felt like it was like spilling over the edges, and I felt so gross and so fat, and I was like, oh my God. And I went in and I met with this person for about an hour and a half, and we had an incredible, I was doing service, I was holding space, we were having incredible discussion. I kid you not. When we finished up, I went to use the potty again before I left the coffee shop, and I caught another glimpse of myself in the mirror. And I promise you, I felt completely different. I looked at myself and I liked what I saw in the mirror. I thought I looked fine. I thought I even looked fit. It was absolutely incredible. No, I did not lose 50 pounds in an hour and a half. Something inside of me shifted, and that had everything to do with being of service, getting outside of myself, and actually the frequency of service. When you're able to be selfless in that way, and you're able to really be there for another person in a way that helps them to elevate to another level, it is incredible how it actually catapults you into a whole new level of being and feeling and experiencing yourself and your body and your life. It's an absolute game changer. And so if you do nothing else, then I really, really invite you to do this one thing. Be of service. Now, here's the caveat, is that being of service only works when you also have spent time in self-care, when you have filled up fully with what it is that you need so that you are giving from an overflowing cup. You are not overgiving and martyring yourself. This is so, so important. And that's why the other tools that we talked about are invaluable, because you've got to get real with what you feel. You've got to move your body, get out of your head, be able to be present, and you've got to do the things that light you up, that feel authentically you, that fill you with the passion to live. You need to do those things, and when you fill up on those things, you are going to be a full vessel to be able to share and gift that light out with other people. So there you go. I hope that that was very, very helpful for you. It was so wonderful to be here with you. If you found it insightful and you think that there's somebody else that you know in your life who could use these tools too, please forward and share this video. Let's share. Let's spread the love. Let's spread the light. And again, I hope that you join in with us next Wednesday for a fresh new video. Bye for now. Mwah.